And some little choo-choo trains, come on. The best trees, they kind of only need two things. Peanut butter and chocolate. Not sorry, Reese's.
The Norm Stewart Classic 48 Hours is brought to you by our title sponsors, Nestle Purina, your pet, our passion, and MPix, Life's a Party, print it, and by our presenting sponsors, the Columbia Convention and Visitors Bureau, MFA Oil, keeping you on the road, the Holiday Inn Executive Center, Columbia, Columbia's finest full-service hotel, Veterans United Home Loans, dedicated to serving those who have served our country, Ameren, Missouri, delivering safe, reliable energy to Missouri customers, Landmark Bank, Missouri Rural Electric Cooperatives, Hilliard, delivering clean results, Jostens, creating lasting memories, First Midwest Bank, Parker Millard Funeral Homes, Cisco, the heart of food and service, BSN Sports, and by Niles Media Group. You're watching the 2018 Norm Stewart Classic 48 Hours.
We welcome you back inside the Southwell Complex. 21 games in the books here at the 2018 Norm Stewart Classic. And the first quarter of this game is brought to you by Nestle Purina, your pet, our passion. The Trojans of Community R6 and the Eagles of Jamestown ready to play in game number 22 of the Norm Stewart Classic. I'm Corey Riggs alongside Chris Raby, and thank you so much for joining us here on ESPN3 and our cable partners across the Show Me State. The Eagles from Jamestown in the white uniforms with the blue numbers. The Trojans in the black unis with red numbers. A good start to the day here, Chris Raby, as we are driving the bus home here, the final 3 games of this one.
Wouldn't have it any other way, Corey, and excited to see both of these two teams go at it.
Right off the bat, how about a spinner home for Max Sorrells? He buries his first shot. We've got a 3-0 ball game.
You know, it's been such a great weekend already, and both these coaches saying, you know, Matt Thomas and also Jay Thompson, that they're excited to see their teams get a little bit out of their comfort zone. You know, they're not at home. They're on unfamiliar turf, playing at maybe an unfamiliar time. Not 2 a.m., but Sunday at noon, so they're eager to see how these clubs respond.
Christian Snyder with a block on the other end, and Jamestown an opportunity to add to a 3-0 advantage. They get the ball in down low. That one left short out of the hands of Clark Rohrbach, a versatile 6'3" junior. Trojans trying to light the scoreboard up for the first time in this one. Escamilla fakes the 3, quickly up in front of him. To front him is Cole Higgins. 3 ball on the way from the left wing, and there's the answer. Blaze Escamilla for 3. So we're trading triples here, Chris. Now's a turnover at midcourt. Escamilla able to come up with it, and there's almost a travel. An athletic move just to be able to hold Pat on the spot. You can tell right off the back here, partner, that there is a size advantage down low with Christian Snyder. 6'5", he's already got a block and a couple of rebounds. And that's going to bring a quick timeout here from the first-year head coach of Jamestown, Jay Thompson.
Yeah, our first whistle of the game, and, you know, and talking to the coaches before the game, Corey, Jamestown's coach, Jay Thompson, as you said, he's excited about how young his team is, although that can cause some headaches, I'm sure, especially as he's a young head coach for this Jamestown bunch. And, you know, on the other end, Community's head coach, Matt Thomas, said, listen, we started off great. We won our first game, but then we had a bit of an issue. In our second game, we had some discipline issues. We had to sit some guys. He said we had a come-to-Jesus meeting earlier this week, just 2 games into the season. Had some hard practices, said thinks everyone's back on the same page, and you know, they came out firing. So I want to see how they respond here through this first quarter.
I don't know about you, but I've been in a couple of those meetings. They are not a lot of fun.
2 games in, you've been in one?
More the work environment, but this is work for these young men. As the Eagles try to break the 3-all tie. There's an offensive rebound, missed from point-blank range, tapped around, fought for. There'll be a foul over the back on Christian Snyder. Jamestown head coach Jay Thompson, in his first season, he was an assistant for the Glasgow girls and helped pilot that program to a Final Four appearance last season. Blaze Escamilla feeling it. That one off the mark, and Rohrbach pulls down the rebound. This is Tristan Jones for Jamestown. Jamestown, a young team, Chris Rady.
Yeah.
No seniors on the roster, 4 juniors, 3 sophomores. There are as many freshmen as there are sophomores and juniors.
And Jay said that excites him because sometimes you don't know any better. I'm sure that can be frustrating, but other times I'm sure that enthusiasm can lead to some really good things, Corey.
5-3 our score. There is a drive and a foul. As our officials continue to work this tournament, want to give a big shout out to the officials who have been here. They've all worked like double headers, then gone home for a little while, come back, put in another double header. It takes a lot of people to pull off 48 hours straight of basketball. Holmes misses his first opportunity at the free throw line.
It's just an incredible feat, and the fact that everything runs so smoothly, just beyond impressive. Can't say enough about it.
Eric Holmes in the scorebook now, and it's a 1-point game. Jamestown with the lead and the rock. A little pressure now by Community. And that immediately turns into a turnover. Back to the outside. The Trojans looking for another 3, and they've got it. Danny Kuda bombs away.
That's twice now that Community has been able to force a turnover with some 3-quarter court pressure. Another hand of the passing lane there by Hartsock.
They try to trap on the far side, can't do it. The Eagles able to run out of it. Rohrbach out on the right side. Good feed in, down low, and a good finish by the big man, Christian Snyder.
So we're kind of seeing 2 different styles early, Corey. You mentioned the size advantage for the Eagles, but Community looks comfortable working the perimeter, trying to get some open shots, and then using some of their turnovers in transition to get some good looks from 3. Eager to see how that progresses as this game goes on and how many threes they are comfortable with.
Knotted up at 7-all. Eric Holmes, who just went 1 for 2 at the free throw line, waits for the right spacing for his team. They have definitely seemed comfortable shooting from the perimeter. How about one more? Hey, the friendly roll for Holmes. He's got 4.
There it is, good spacing and lots of time outside the perimeter to size up and get a good look. Haven't seen a contested 3 yet.
I would say the Jamestown defense is probably going to expand, as that was great vertical defense. Evan Hartsock straight up and down. Ball goes out of bounds. It'll stay with Jamestown.
Yeah, pretty clean game so far, just the 2 fouls. Good pace to it, not a lot of whistles.
Tristan Jones.
Which is really saying something considering how some of these games in this different environment, Corey, can start a little choppy, a little herky-jerky.
Now, this is the one time a year where you're kind of off the schedule, as it is tournament time from now until the Christmas break. The Trojans with another takeaway. Escamilla runs out, but the high shot off the window won't fall. Jamestown continuing to want to feed the post. They go back into Snyder. He misses the first one, but is fouled.
Yeah, just a tale of 2 different styles here, as Jamestown really wants to run everything through the 6'5" junior. Christian Snyder have had pretty good success getting looks, just not necessarily able to convert. That's going to be on the floor. And the Trojans, meanwhile, getting up, getting down, and pulling some threes. So 2 different styles so far early, but pretty good game this far, as we're saying. Good pace. Trading field goals.
Eric Holmes on the rebound foul. First personal, first team foul in this one. Again, back down low. Christian Snyder that time, Chris, started to go over the back, but very heady, immediately pulled the arms back. You can tell it's important for the big man not to get into foul trouble as Holmes from head on hits again.
And certainly that size difference can lead to some enticing second chance opportunities, Corey. We've got to see, especially on some of the rebounds that are away from Snyder, we've got to see Community be able to take care of those and limit the second chance opportunities. At some point, I imagine Snyder's going to start to get some of those rolls in.
Rohrback down on his back at the free throw line as the intensity ratchets up a notch.
Yeah, denying the entry, a good way to slow Snyder down as well, even though Escamilla did come away with the foul. And how about just the willingness and the patience at the perimeter?
Caden Escamilla picks up the personal foul. Jamestown will lift Christian Snyder and send in Travis Barber. Now a little confusion on the inbounds. Jones will pick it up here. This Jamestown team won their first district title in 38 years a season ago. A real shining moment for them to get back to the title game and win it. Trojans tip the ball away. Holmes feeling it. That one off the cylinder, no, but he's got more than half of their points. He's got 7 of Community's 13 points.
Yeah, a little surprised. Had another open look there. Decided to take a couple of steps in, shoot the mid-range.
How about a spin move into a 3? That one misses to the right that time for Max Sorrells, out of bounds. Community will have it here with 96 seconds remaining in quarter number 1. Eagles going to flip the defense here a little bit.
Nice look.
Another good look at 3. Now a rebound and a foul, and hard to the floor, Evan Hartstock. That'll wake you up.
Foul on Jamestown, number 23, Matt Stewart.
Wow, nice look there from the corner. Hartstock up, and again, liked the feistiness inside on both ends so far from this Community team, despite maybe a bit of a size disadvantage. They've done a good job on the glass early.
Max Sorrells picks up a second personal foul here in the first quarter. Holmes drives, dishes, it'll come back out. Holmes again puts a shoulder into the defender, and that's an offensive foul. Clark Rohrbach flat on his back after the shove. That's one of those point of emphasis calls that you always hear, Chris. You drop the shoulder, initiate the contact. If you have the ball, that's going to be an offensive foul.
Not as much pressure by this Trojan bunch, but still picking up at about three-quarter court. We'll see if Jamestown can start to settle into a bit of their offensive rhythm here, Corey.
Tristan Jones with it. 1-3-1 defense here for the Trojans, a different look. Jones with it again. He'll drive the lane, try to go through 3 defenders. His shot rolls off, but he'll have an opportunity at the line. Foul going to be called against 14, Evan Hartstock. And Mr. Hartstock was the one that took the hard foul on the other end of the floor just moments ago. The history of the Jamestown boys basketball program, they are still looking for their first trip to the Final Four. No state titles on the boys' side. Jones goes 1 of 2 at the line.
I was wondering how long we were going to see Snyder on the bench. He's back in, though, and should be a good battle down low against Oligschlager.
How about another 3? That one off the mark. Snyder gets the rebound here. 30 seconds, plenty of time for Jamestown, except there's another Trojan turnover. Oh, but Blaze Escamilla leaves that one on the front porch. Doesn't get it to roll over the rim and in, and he's laughing about that one.
Yeah, kind of forcing the issue a little bit. We saw after a couple of trips down where they backed off just a bit. You see Matt Thomas there, the head coach of the Community Club. They turn it back up, created an opportunity, and there it is. Able to eventually cash in on the bucket.
Danny Kuda now with 5 for Community R6. 5 seconds to play here in the first 8 minutes. Can they get the ball across? Looking for a shot. That one is blocked by Caden Escamilla. And that will do it. A competitive contest here in the start that sees the boys from Community R6, the Trojans, leading the Eagles of Jamestown 15-8 here in the Norm Stewart Classic.
Emerge restored, replenished, fortified. Emerge every day with Emergen-C, packed with B vitamins, electrolytes, antioxidants, plus more vitamin C than 10 oranges. Why not feel this good every day? Emerge and see.
Welcome back to Columbia College here in Columbia, Missouri this afternoon. Here's the Norm Stewart Classic marches on. The second quarter of today's game is brought to you by Columbia Convention and Visitors Bureau. Como, what you unexpect. Maybe an unexpected result here in the first quarter, Chris Raby. 4 of 7 for the Trojans from three-point land. That is pretty much the differential on the scoreboard at this point.
And they did a lot of that work early. We saw maybe a little, I don't know if it was tentativeness or kind of a concerted effort to go a little bit inside, but we'll see if they start pulling some threes. It's Jamestown with the first 3 of this second quarter, though.
Rebound controlled by Danny Kuda. Community looking to add to the lead here. That one thrown away. Turnovers in the first quarter, 5-1 against Jamestown. Community only turned the ball over 1 time, so that's their second turnover. But they forced the Eagles into 5 turnovers. You see Jamestown's head coach in his first year, Jay Thompson. Quick run up the floor. The big man running the floor and gets the score.
Snyder's second of the early afternoon. And really want to monitor, especially down low, what they try to do, Corey, to keep him.
Oh, man. There's no defense for that.
I was going to say out of foul trouble, but I guess it doesn't matter if you're making those kind of shots.
Caden Escamilla knocking it down. The junior, one of 4 juniors on the club for Matt Thomas. That is the team's 5th triple here. We're just in the opening minute of quarter number 2. Chris, I don't know that we're going to see another 60-point half like we saw last night, but this is good scoring for early season. Man, Caden Escamilla needs to trade names with his brother Blaze because he is on fire.
Come to Jesus moment. I guess that helped with the perimeter play. Wow. Corey, the spacing, the passing. Like we said earlier, these are open looks. It's not just that they're knocking them down, but look at the spacing here. The high screen leads to a deep 3 converted, and then ball movement around the perimeter comes back to Escamilla, and there's no one within 6 feet of him. None of these shots have been contested, and for a team like this that's knocking down everything so far that's open, Jamestown has to figure out a way to get into some of the passing lanes, to disrupt some of the flow around the perimeter and try to start to alter some of these shots, because if not, could be a long afternoon at the rate that the Trojans are hitting.
Jamestown, a team that lost a lot from last year, again without a senior on the roster. Community, this is a much more balanced team. You've got 4 seniors, 4 juniors, 2 sophomores, and 3 freshmen, and right now it's the junior Caden Escamilla that's really lighting the lamp right now. A pair of triples on back-to-back possessions. Jamestown reeling here a little bit. All of a sudden they find themselves down 11. Community R6 now 6 of 9 in the game from outside.
Wow. High percentage looks, and here's now a little bit more of the pressure as Hartsock is going to pick up at about the free throw line extended. Now he inches up a little bit.
Gonna deny Tristan Jones here on the inbounds. Jones able to curl around to it. Now they'll wait to try and get a trap up along the sideline, but it does not get there in time. Good work by Jones breaking the press. Eagles down 11. Snyder now picks his spot in the low post. Double team comes, spins, shoots, scores. Christian Snyder plays well with his back to the basket.
Yeah, he does, and just a simple move there. Those entry passes will lead to some really high percentage opportunities, and now Jamestown forcing a turnover.
A run out for Rohrbach as he flips it in with the right hand.
So a little bit of a run here, a score, a stop, and a score. And what happened there, Corey? Getting hands in passing lanes, causing some disruption. Really the first time we've seen that.
A rare miss by Escamilla in this one so far. Rohrbach runs into a double team, and the Eagles will reset back out at center court. They working around the perimeter. Loading up a three is Sorrells. That gets tapped back to Jones. Jones hesitated, thought about a tree, but Caden Escamilla closed out quickly defensively for Community. Ball goes down low, gets redirected and into the hands of Christian Snyder. He's got 8 to lead the Eagles in scoring.
Too easy there on the baseline. Snyder, he said if some of the rolls started to fall for him, he could be dangerous.
Oh! A banker for Evan Hartsock. I was just getting ready to say, Chris, that this lead went from 11 down to 5, and then Community R6 goes bombs away again.
And I think that's how they got to play, especially with what the spacing is allowing them to do, with what it's allowing them to create. But wow, once again, great pace early to this game. Almost halfway through the second quarter, it's been fun.
Hartsock buries the three, then picks up his second personal on the defensive end. So something to watch there as we reach the midway point of quarter number 2. The feed in over the top of the defense and a left-handed finish for Snyder. He is heating up. The first player for either club to reach the double-digit scoring plateau. He now has 10. That's a 6-point game.
That's what you got to worry about.
Overplay steal here. Jumping the route was Cole Higgins, and he puts it high off the glass and in for his first 2.
So you mentioned it got down to a 5-point advantage, Corey. Now it's a 4-point advantage, and Jamestown started to make their run.
And they've done it, Chris, with defense first, because a lot of these buckets have been in transition. They've done that, and what they've done extremely well is locate their big man, Snyder.
Yeah, they have. Christian Snyder just up and off the glass. He's looked so comfortable in the second quarter after a bit of a rough start. He draws the double team there right around. He's got great footwork for a big man, the 6'5 junior. Then working the baseline, up and in with the right hand. 10 points, the first in double figures. Been really impressed with what he's done, even when Community's tried to front him, when they've tried to double team him, when they've tried to deny entry. Haven't been able to figure out so far how to start to slow him down.
And defensively, he's been clean. He's got a couple of blocks, a couple of rebounds, and has only picked up 1 foul.
Going to be so important, and if you're the Spartans, if you're the Trojans, I'm sorry, what do you try to start to do to deal with Snyder? Do you try to force the issue a little bit inside, even though that's not been your game, to see if you can get him to pick up a couple of fouls?
And the Trojans really are a 5-guard team, and you've seen that in some of the other games we've done here. This time it's Blaze wanting the triple, no good. Rebound, work it back out around the horn. Kuda snaps the net. Denny Kuda has quietly had 8 points. Look at the scoring. Kuda has 8. You've got Escamilla with 7 and 6, and they're just distributing the ball well. Everybody's getting involved on the scoring for Community. That time, Clark Rohrbach gets the bucket.
Yeah, and it's indicative of the way they're playing in the offensive end. Just about everyone's touching the ball, it seems, almost every possession.
Again, we've started to mention 5 guards, really. for this Community R6 club, and they share the ball well. They work the ball around the perimeter, and that has led to these open looks from three. Jamestown, though, trying to extend their defense to the edge. They lose a man here, and they'll make him pay. Danny Kuda. Kuda now with 11, and the lead gets pushed back up to 8 points, and here comes the press. Jones has been flawless as a press breaker so far here for Jamestown. Eagles looking for the answer. Skip it all the way across to Higgins. He launches but won't draw iron. Offensive rebound here pulled down by Sorrells. 2 minutes, 30 seconds to go until halftime. They get it down low to Snyder. And he was camped out in the lane.
Yep, 3-second violation. One way to neutralize the big man with 10 points. Always Community just more the same on the offensive end. Keep sharing the ball, keep moving it, keep getting those open looks because they are not missing.
I may be different, but one of the things I always think of when I see a three in the lane call like that is, was that something that Matt Thomas was chirping about just moments ago, and then it eventually paid off?
A little campaigning, a little lobbying.
Caden Escamilla now with 8 in the contest. Now the press pays off. Bullet pass down, kick back out, around the horn, 3 from the top of the key, yes! 11 for Escamilla, and he continues to knock him down from outside.
Ball movement again after the turnover. Boom, 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 boom. Make the extra pass. Can't wait at halftime, Corey, to see how many of these buckets have been assisted by Community. But look at the turnover, the transition, a quick bullet pass, and then don't have it. Back out. 1, 2, 3, and down. So 3 passes after the turnover, and it's just been remarkable to watch the way this team is moving the ball.
Escamilla connects on his 3rd three-pointer here in the first half. Now Jamestown trying to regroup here. They cut it down to as low as 4 points, and now the Community shooting explosion has pushed the lead back to 10.
Yeah, and if you're Jamestown, I don't think you can try to get out and run. You've got to figure out a way to break the press, and you've got to get into your offensive set. You've got to run everything through Snyder, and the more attention he draws, maybe that frees up some higher percentage looks around the paint for the rest of the Eagles. But right now, you know, it's Community kind of dictating the pace, Corey. They're pushing the press. They're getting into transition. And then the Eagles having a hard time matching the ball movement around the perimeter, which is leading to these open looks.
Jamestown had an incredible run last year. 26 wins against just 3 losses. But they lost 4 of their starting 5 as they are soul searching and trying to find a cohesive unit of 5 here on the floor. The early going of this season, 90 seconds to go. Reach in foul here as Jones tried to drive the left side of the lane. Caden Escamilla picks up his 2nd personal. There are 3 players on the floor for Community R6 that have already had 2 personal fouls attributed to them. Now they drop into a 2-3 zone, waiting on the Eagles. Jamestown. Look at the triple team roll over, and what a great pass by Snyder to find the cutter on the backside.
Yeah, you saw the attention paid to Snyder. Nice little weak side dish off, and that's what they've got to do. Run that offense through him.
Hartstock's shot blocked by Rohrbach. 2nd block of the half for the Eagles. This one batted around. Going to be a bit of an odd man break here, but everybody hustles back down to this end of the floor. 37 seconds remaining. Jones sends it out to the left wing. Higgins open on the far side. Back outside, Sorrells from deep, off the front of the rim, no. Collected by Kuda. Community could hold for one here, but they haven't gone slow much at any point in the game. A contested three that time. The defense came out to meet Escamilla. With three, with two, gonna have to heave it up. That one will hit the backboard, but nothing else. As we have reached halftime here at the Bob Burchard Court. Community R6, the Trojans, up 11 here, 35-24 over the visitors on the scoreboard, the Jamestown Eagles.
Love big, love loud, love Levion. From classic nude diamonds to the beautiful ombre collection. Bolo bracelets, chocolate diamonds, and every color gemstone in between. No one colors your world like Levion, and nobody sells more Levion than Kay.
Corey Riggs and Chris Raby welcoming you back to the Nestle Purina halftime report here at the 2018 Norm Stewart Classic. Our halftime score, the Trojans lead the Eagles of Jamestown 35-24. Let's take a look at our first half highlights brought to you by MFA Oil, keeping you on the road. And Chris, we saw the big man find his shot for Jamestown, and Community R6 just go bombs away from the perimeter.
Yeah, really a tale of two different styles as Community was able to create some opportunities in transition after pressure. Bombs away is right, making the extra pass, dropping just about everything they looked at. And then Snyder becoming a factor for Jamestown inside. His 10 points lead the way, and really a quiet first quarter where he only had a couple, so to get him going and be able to run inside out, Corey, that was, I think, the most impressive thing and the most important thing the Eagles were able to do in that second, even if they're still faced by, the 11-point deficit.
Perimeter shooting, a big part of it. At one point in time in the second quarter, the Trojans were 6 of 9. There you see the final scoop and score by Caden Escamilla. Stay with us. Our halftime score again, 35-24 in favor of Community. As we continue here with the Nestle Purina halftime report.
Heading west to where the sun sleeps. City fallout, let our lungs breathe. Can you hold me? I can't even speak. Oh my, here it goes. 'Cause this is already bigger. This is already bigger than love.
Dare to be devoted. Jared.
Cancer is universal.
Life-changing, eye-opening. Cancer is part of our culture. It shows up in the middle of the night, in the middle of your life. Cancer is fear. A mindless beast.
Cancer is how you fight it.
It's not the ending of my life.
It doesn't define me.
Cancer is a disease whose days are numbered.
Don't give up. Don't ever give up.
Norm Stewart Classic 48 Hours is brought to you by our title sponsors, Nestle Purina, your pet, our passion, and MPix, Life's a Party, Print It, and by our presenting sponsors, the Columbia Convention and Visitors Bureau, MFA Oil, keeping you on the road, the Holiday Inn Executive Center, Columbia, Columbia's finest full-service hotel, Veterans United Home Loans, dedicated to serving those who have served our country, Ameren, Missouri, delivering safe, reliable energy to Missouri customers. Landmark Bank, Missouri Rural Electric Cooperatives. Hilliard, delivering clean results. Justin's, creating lasting memories. First Midwest Bank, Parker Millard Funeral Homes. Cisco, the heart of food and service. BSN Sports, and by Niles Media Group. You're watching the 2018 Norm Stewart Classic 48 Hours.
Halftime here at Columbia College, 35-24 in favor of Community R6. So we welcome you back to the Nestle Purina halftime report here at the 2018 Norm Stewart Classic. Let's take a look at our first half stats brought to you by the Columbia Convention and Vision Bureau. We won't have them up on the screen this time, but Chris, we keep mentioning the three-pointers going in for Community R6. They only had 2 baskets that weren't three-pointers, right?
10 of 15 from 3, 12 of 25 from the field, and just 4 total free throws in that first half. So Corey bombs away so far. We'll see if Jamestown can try to do anything to slow down the success around the perimeter for the Trojans.
Jamestown only got 1 3-pointer to go on 7 attempted, and then both teams went 1 for 2 at the charity stripe. Jamestown shooting 50% from the floor, Community R6 48%. Well, that'll do it for the Nestle Purina halftime show. When we come back, we'll get you ready for the third quarter.
Emerge restored, replenished, fortified. Emerge every day with Emergen-C, packed with B vitamins, electrolytes, antioxidants, plus more vitamin C than 10 oranges. Why not feel this good every day? Emerge and see.
Carson Wentz and the defending champs host Adrian Peterson and the Redskins. Monday Night Football, tomorrow at 8:15 on ESPN.
Welcome back to Columbia College, ready for third quarter action. 35-24 our score. The third quarter of today's game brought to you by Veterans United Home Loans, dedicated to serving those who serve our country. Get ready to go here. Corey Riggs and Chris Raby back to work. Community R6. See if they can continue the three-point barrage that they had through the first 16 minutes in this one.
How many did Battle have yesterday in the first half? It couldn't have been 10. I wonder what the record for three-pointers in not just a half, but a first half is, Corey. It's got to be close.
Hey, how about a little inside game? A quick give and go, and finishing is Evan Hartstock. A little bit of different look out of the halftime.
Yeah, and once Jamestown tries to focus on that perimeter, there's the spacing and the ability to cut back door. That lane was wide open. Hartsock, really solid first half as he does a little bit of everything for this club.
Caden Escamilla picking up the third personal foul. I believe he's the first player on either team to really be in what you could call foul trouble here in this one. Down low, Snyder, soft touch with the left hand, and it rolls around and through. Snyder now with a dozen.
How impressive has Snyder been in the ability to use both hands, Corey, go in either direction?
I don't know. What are you more impressed with?
Speaking of impressive,
the post presence or the perimeter play?
11 of 16.
That's 10 now for Eric Holmes. And he's got this spot, Chris, just right in the top of the arc. He hasn't taken it from the wing. He hasn't taken it from the corner. They keep leaving him open just kind of straight on, and he buries it as Rohrbach tries to answer with a 2 of his own.
Snyder and Rohrbach are going to have to try and figure out a way to make their points count for more in and around the paint. Wow, I don't know what you do when the shots are falling like this.
A percentage that you would like to have all the time, but you've got to think you can't sustain for 4 quarters. But again, they saw something in the first half on how they could cut this Eagles defense up. No basket that time, but they do get the foul, and they'll send Danny Kuda to the line.
How about Kuda? He had it going in the first half. Had a couple of deep back-to-back threes.
Cole Higgins picks up his second personal foul.
That's just the 5th free throw this game.
Matt Thomas looking on. Kuda just as accurate from the free throw line as he is beyond the arc. Community using that little 3-man press again. This time they've got him hemmed in up against the far out of bounds line. Ball batted around, loose. Diving headlong into the bench is Caden Escamilla. He hits the 3. Or Blaze Escamilla can hit the 3, and he will give it his all on the defensive end that time. Evan Hartstock with it right in front of our broadcast position. He'll give it up. Trojans start the drive, think better of it. They'll skip it all the way over to Hartstock. He finds himself with it again. 5 minutes, 35 seconds to play here in the third. Escamilla wanted a handoff, but Cole Higgins denied him the whole way. There is a shot that wasn't blocked, but highly contested that time by Clark Rohrbach. Jones running and scoring.
Little end-to-end, taking a page out of the Trojans playbook there. Here it comes.
Blaze Escamilla leaves that one short. Rohrbach picks up the rock and brings it back the other way. 12 points the difference in this one, 42-30. They're a good denial defensively that time, as they would not let Jamestown get the ball to Snyder. There's a rare unforced error against the Trojans.
You know, in the second quarter especially, Corey, it seemed like, you know, whatever the Trojans were trying to do defensively to deny that entry to front Snyder to get in front of him wasn't really working. That was a nice job there to deny and deny cleanly. Unfortunately, though, turning it over on the other end.
Offense will run through Tristan Jones again, the sophomore guard. Gives way to Sorrells. Jones drives on Escamilla, hangs in the air and delivers. He had 1 point in the first half, now with 5, Tristan Jones. Escamilla drives, ends up flat on his back. Whistle ball out of bounds here. Good clean defense that time by the Eagles. Community's lead is now 10. A whistle and a push underneath. It'll go against Danny Kuda. Get him for an illegal screen. It's just his first personal. With 11 points.
I want to see at what point James tries to start to force the issue a little bit on both ends.
Now he'll be a grab, so you have a foul on Community on the offensive end. And now Kuda immediately picks up his second personal on the defensive end.
Yeah, 2 quick fouls after a pretty clean first half.
Eric Holmes checks out.
And I wonder if that's going to be a factor. If Jamestown can start to get to the free throw line a little bit.
Rohrbach spins in the paint. Community comes up with it. Blaze Escamilla off a screen. Kills his dribble. Down low now to Kyle Olichschlager. 3 from the outside. Draws iron, but nothing else, and a rebound for Snyder.
First time that Kuda has, I think, missed this afternoon. And then how about the press leading to the turnover, as Tristan Jones had nowhere to go with that one. Wow.
Evan Hartstock just in his socks that time. Didn't let him go, and then the defensive intensity, he had nowhere to go but to go into the backcourt, forcing a turnover to the Trojans.
See if we start to see a little bit of push defensively from the Eagles.
Oh, great pass and a good finish that time. Escamilla to Hartstock.
Again, as you start to, oh, and there's another turnover. Wow, so defensive intensity the same, Corey, but as Jamestown tries to pay a little more attention perhaps to the perimeter, Community says okay, and they go inside. Really nice couple of sequences there. Now an opportunity for 2 more at the free throw line.
Cole Higgins collects personal foul number 3, and that'll bring 2 subs off the Jamestown bench. Travis Barber into the ball game along with William Leeser. Now there'll be a foul on the rebound after a missed free throw. That'll go against Community's Kyle Olechlager, the 6'4 junior.
Yeah, I wonder if these fouls will start to become a factor if you're Jamestown and you can get into the bonus. Maybe that's a way to cut into some of this, but you got to have possession for that to happen.
Active hands, my friend, active hands for these Community R6 kids. There has not been a passing lane. They aren't willing to put a hand out in or jump across. They lead by 13. Near corner for Barber. He dribbles out of it. Snyder not on the floor right now. Changes the offensive look. They'll go down low here in a quick double team. The ball tapped out of bounds. Blaze Escamilla should have just went ahead and let that one go. Now it was touched by him, so the Eagles get to keep it here. They get Tristan Jones back in.
Yeah, I just wonder at what point you really start playing almost against the clock, especially with the way that Community can get buckets in bunches, Corey. And a turnover there is certainly not going to help. Just another self-inflicted issue. I also wonder how long Snyder can be on the bench.
So he's been one of the two best offensive weapons they've had all day. Clark Rohrbach, the other big at 6'3" and a junior, has got 8 points. He's been a good scorer down low, but Christian Snyder, 12 points, and he just does everything well. But what, you can't take anything away from Caden Escamilla either. 14 points now for the Community guard.
And we're seeing after just 2 field goals that were not three-pointers in the first half, Community getting inside, and they look awfully comfortable, as does Caden Escamilla, the 5'8" junior guard. Take a look at what he's done. Scoring just about everywhere. A little fake there, lays it up and in with the left hand. Then a little dish out and in. Of course, plenty of long-range bombs today, but how about in transition as well? That was the bullet pass that set up his own 3 at the top of the key at the end of the first half. So he's been all over the court, Corey, and has really, created some opportunities for himself and his teammates. That ball movement just does so many things for you offensively.
He and Danny Kuda combining in this one for 27 of the 47 Trojan points scored so far. We've got less than 2 minutes to play here in quarter number 3. They go back to their patented press here at midcourt. Jones dribbles through it. The right-handed runner won't go. An offensive rebound here, though, for Lisa. Good second chance opportunity for Jamestown.
Still no Snyder in this game.
Jones, they'll go down low. Barber out to Sorrells for 3. That one doesn't get a good bounce. One more offensive rebound, a foul before the shot for Rohrbach. Really doing a good job here, Chris, with the offensive rebounds right now. Unfortunately, the downside to that is that also tells you that you're missing shots.
And it leads to some longer possessions as well. We're winding down the third quarter here in a 15-point deficit against a team that's just firing away. And a team that's going to continue to pressure is, kind of a tall task.
Well, here's a storyline for you to follow heading into the fourth quarter. Caden Escamilla picks up personal foul number 4. Coach Matt Thomas, talking to one of our officials, thought the foul was on 41, and now he quickly subs out for his junior guard.
And Snyder back in.
Another shot left short, another second chance point. 2 offensive rebounds out of the inbounds play. Travis Barber really working hard on the glass for Jamestown. Down low, too tall as they snuck Christian Snyder in on the last break.
Yeah, Snyder back in and got to start going, because with 1 minute left, I want to see here what the defensive pressure is and if Community's trying to milk as much of this rest of the third quarter as possible, or if they'll just be business as usual.
Hartsock, a good pass down low. It'll come back out to him. Releases at the free throw line. No good, and Rohrbach gets a rebound and is fouled.
Well, there's your answer. And we will continue to see pressure from this Trojan bunch. Just trying to figure out how Jamestown can get into this one because they've had such a hard time, not just on the offensive end, Corey, but really coming up with multiple stops.
A little bit of a disparity in the fouls here in the third quarter. 6-2, Community. Jamestown seeing the fouls start to add up here. Ball last touched by the Trojans. Eric Holmes, who has 10 points, reached for that one but couldn't pull it back across the line. Snyder now doing battle with Oligschlager underneath. Jones off the mark. Another offensive rebound. A second. A third. 3 offensive rebounds on that series, and then a strip and a foul.
Wow.
Tristan Jones had had enough, and he was going to drive the lane by himself. They'll end up having to do it at the charity stripe. First personal foul called this afternoon against Blaze Escamilla. That is the 7th team foul against the Trojans. A 15-point advantage for Community. Jones goes 1 of 2. He has 6 points. One more shot at it here for Community with 7, with 6. Their sharpshooter Escamilla not on the floor. Holmes from straight away. No, that'll do it. 47-33. Community saw their lead evaporate down to 4, and then they push it back up. 47-33. We head to the fourth quarter of the Norm Stewart Classic.
Hashtag Ask Scott Mondays, baby.
Hashtag Ask Scott Monday.
Charles was here.
That's
Charles would do it like this. Make it an ask.
Christmas trees try so hard. Lights and ornaments and little choo-choo trains, come on. The best trees, they kind of only need 2 things. Peanut butter and chocolate. Not sorry, Reese's.
The Norm Stewart Classic continues here at Columbia College, 47-33 in this one between Jamestown and Community R6. The Eagles ball as we start the fourth quarter. They are working uphill. A great effort and a great run to start this second half for the Eagles. They did not make those mistakes, Chris Raby, the way they do here. Turnovers were a big part of the first quarter, and now they're a big part of quarter number 4.
Yeah, especially with this Jamestown team in the bonus, Corey, you got to be sure that you're taking care of the basketball to give yourself every opportunity to get back into this.
Holmes finds a man cutting through the lane. No good, but another offensive rebound collected by Kyle Oligschlager.
Right back inside.
They feed it back to the big man, and he'll have a chance at the line. Foul's going to go against Christian. No, it's going to go against Barber. The freshman gets the foul. First time at the line today for Oligschlager. 6'4" junior. See if the big man can find his range on the second one. Just off the mark. Snyder gets the pull. Away we go in a 14-point game. Oh, hard hit on the floor for Jones. Ball back tapped out. Jones tries to get to it.
Starting to see a little frustration now. And officials will confer. They'll say it goes back to the Trojans. So, you know, you start to see that seep in a little bit, Corey. And again, starting to play against the clock a little bit with 7:07 left. And a Trojan team that has shown no signs of slowing down.
Well, the only thing really in the favor of Jamestown right now is those 4 personal fouls against Caden Escamilla, their leading scorer, who now has to sit the bench. Here's a turnover. Higgins tries to split a pair of defenders. will end up back at the line. The fourth quarter of today's game is brought to you by MFA Oil, keeping you on the road.
Foul on the Trojans, number 32, Eric Holmes.
Foul goes against Holmes here,
Cole Higgins at the line.
sending the sophomore guard Cole Higgins to the line.
It's kind of an interesting sideways free throw stance there.
You know, it's funny that you mentioned that because when, and you got to do a game or two with Jenny Hopkins, as did I, and the ball coach picks up on things like that real quick as well.
Yeah.
She had one, she kept writing down to me these notes of, what is he doing with his foot? There was a player that would put one foot forward and pull the other foot back, and the back foot stayed up on its tippy toes.
I guess whatever works, right? Kind of like a batting stance, a load mechanism, and you just got to find what works.
Well, that was the exact analogy I made. I said, you know, great baseball coaches will tell you all the time, hey, if you're hitting 300 or 400 and you can hit to all fields,
We're gonna leave you alone.
I'll let you swing however you want. If you can't produce for me, then your mechanics become mine and I get to change them. And I think that's probably a little bit true too with free throw shooting as well. Difference is 12 now. Trojans see their leading scorer, Escamilla, come back on the floor, and he has that one knocked out of his hands, but there is contact. So Community's number 4 will toe the line again. After the foul against Cole Higgins, that's going to be his 4th.
Man, Escamilla has been so good. 3 Trojans in double figures now. His 15, leading all scorers, and just been fun to watch.
He and Danny Kuda aren't far apart. Kuda with 13. Right now, the Trojans have 3 players on the floor that have scored 10 or more points in this one. Community R6 just a point shy of 50 now. The feed in, down low. Snyder can't collect it quickly that time, Chris. They had him bracketed front and back defensively, denying the big man for Jamestown. Oh, there you go. It's been a while.
Just the second three-pointer of the half, but a huge one. And now 19 points for Escamilla. Holy cow.
Making his bid to be the Gary Filbert MVP of this one. Ball knocked out of the hands of Snyder, loose on the floor. Escamilla up with it now. 52-35. Hartsock flips it toward the lane. Defense back quickly. Holmes rolls it around and through. And he gives out a yell.
Nice move there inside, getting the roll, and it's just kind of gone that way. So far, if you're Jamestown, they can feel pretty good defensively there. Double team comes over, splits it though, then as the help leaves, nice move with the left hand, up and under, in, and the free throw, and a chance to make this a 20-point advantage, Corey.
Chris, you and I are riding this one out along with Jim Powers, who'll be taking care of things over at the Nestle Purina Between Game Report. We've got 2 more games after this one, both with a lot of local flavor. At 2 o'clock, Columbia Hickman, the Cupies, and the Moberly girls will be the last girls game of the 2018 Norm Stewart Classic, game number 23, and then the 24th and final tilt. How about this? Raytown South, a Final Four team from a year ago, ranked number 2 in Class 4 of the state, will take on Columbia Rockbridge, a Final Four team from a year ago, ranked number 2 in Class 5 in the state.
And I remember last year, our final game, it was Vianney and Rockbridge.
Yes.
And boy, did the Rockbridge boys put on a show. Isaiah Mosley, Mizzou commit, along with DeJuan Harris, Quentin Brown. They call them what? The headband boys, right? And my goodness, did they absolutely make this building explode. It was fun to watch, and really, really looking forward to that matchup coming up, as well as the girls matchup next.
Jamonte Black and DeJuan Harris now have both committed to play for new head coach Dana Ford and be Missouri State Bears and wear the maroon and white next year. It really is. It's always great, too, to see teammates get to continue to play together. These guys have grown up together. Now they're going to get to play Division I college ball together.
How cool is that, man?
Well, yeah, they communicate with just a look. And here is a quick look at a steal. Hartsock, and good play here to pull it back for a moment. Now running out of bounds and flipping it back to his teammates is Kuda. Kuda back into work here. His team up 54-35. Triple team comes to him as he reaches the free throw line.
Ooh, uh-oh.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
There's 22 for Escamilla. As he drops his last 2 3-point attempts, he is just so confident. Hesitated for a split second, and then that's about as much contest as we've seen for any of these shots around the perimeter.
It was almost like, are you going to guard me? Nope. All right, here we go. And here we go for Rohrbach. He's able to put one down from long range. Rohrbach now with 11 points. Only Christian Snyder has more for the Eagles. Escamilla on the floor, and they're going to whistle a travel.
Wow.
One of the rare turnovers for Community, who only had 6 in the first half.
You know, that's what I was going to say, Corey, is for as fast as they play and as much as they move the ball, they really take care of it, you know?
Now you're basically playing positionless basketball with 5 guards. They're asking Eric Holmes to guard a 6'5" post and Snyder. But every time, he's never guarding him alone. When somebody flashes into the post, there's help defense like right now. Hartsock tried to cap it.
Looked like he did.
They say he got into him with the body. Third personal foul, 9th team foul now against Community R6.
And look, here's another sideways foot alignment, this from the other side. Take a look at the drive here and the foul. Hartsock gets a little bit on the body, and, you know, despite the big differential right now, 57-40, I've been impressed with Tristan Jones. Corey, he's played hard, not afraid of contact, not afraid to get into the paint. He's been a real bright spot for the Eagles today.
You can tell he's a distributor. He's a pass-first guy, but he'll take his shot if he wants to. I don't know that Danny Kuda has ever met a shot he didn't like, as Kuda now snaps it, and he's got 16, the second leading scorer for the Trojans. This team can flat shoot the 3. There's a deflection. Blaise Escamilla climbing the ladder and forcing the turnover. 20 points separate these two teams now. Holmes skips it all the way across the floor.
Ball movement still fantastic.
Escamilla drives. Ball batted out of his hands, and the foul will go against Rohrbach, who almost dances away in frustration from the foul. Oh, they're going to say Tristan got it. So Rohrbach can take a deep breath there. He thought he picked up another foul. It's only the second personal against Jones.
And into the bonus goes Community, and to the free throw line with the chance to add to his game high 22 goes Escamilla. Pretty good.
Great job watching Matt Thomas here just to our left. Bring players over one at a time. Talk to them about what they're doing. Coaching in the free throws and trying to get these precious minutes in an early part of a season in a game that's pretty much decided. Having an opportunity in live game action to be able to get these young men to understand the purpose of the coaching.
I just mentioned Community playing under control on the offensive end, not turning the ball over. But how about Escamilla playing under control on both ends with 4 fouls? And if it wasn't for the time in the first half that he spent on the bench and in the third quarter, he could have 30 right now. But he's played so disciplined, despite, you know, what I'm sure is a really exciting game, and has kept himself on the court. Nice take there by Rohrbach and finish.
And that was all started on the other end. He took the ball away here, went coast to coast, stepped through 2 defenders, and scored. He's got 13, does Clark Rohrbach. Let's take a look at our play of the game this afternoon, brought to you by Well, we'll hold on to the play of the game here for a minute. As Community tries to hold on to the ball, and Matt Thomas is going to bring us a line change. We're going to see 5 new players check into this one.
Yeah, we just saw the same thing from Jamestown, so both teams giving their reserves some opportunity.
Try to run you through these. Garrett Schmidt now into the game, along with Hunter Hoflicker, Grant Stafford, Case Stafford, all into the lineup for the Trojans. Brady Shintal now on the floor for Jamestown, and look at the young faces that are on the floor now. Chase Klund out there at a guard. 30 is Gage Reynolds. Evan Shintal, they'll load up a 3. Oh, underneath too far. Ball out of bounds, it'll go to Community.
A couple of freshman twins out there. And man, what a young team. I'm sure great things ahead for Jamestown and Jay Thompson. And you can always take positives out of these games early, Corey. You really can.
Well, what do you say about a team that features 7 juniors and sophomores and 7 freshmen? I mean, they've got 4 juniors, 3 sophomores, 7 freshmen, and not a senior in white and blue.
That means we'll be familiar with a lot of these pronunciations over the next few years.
Yep, we're going to see a lot of these guys as the ball gets loose on Hunter Hoflicker. Minute 20 to play here. Rebound pulled down by Chase Klund, a 5'5" freshman guard.
Oh.
Turn it right back over, and that one too hard off the window. An offensive rebound. Look at the wherewithal trying to dribble as you're falling down that time by Case Stafford. And we'll get a whistle here with 61 seconds and a tie-up. And there was so much physicality going on. We got guys need to adjust their socks now. They were on the floor for that one. Matt Thomas hoping that this group of seniors and juniors can take Community R6 back to the Final Four. The school has only made 1 trip to the Final Four that now is no longer played here in Columbia. It resides in Springfield, Missouri at the JQH Arena. Rebound to Gage Reynolds. He gets tripped up. Ball bounces right to Garrett Schmidt, and Schmidt will get into the scorebook with 2. Now we'll get some more fresh faces in as well. Jamestown will put Tanner Gensch in, along with 15, Zachary Hargis. Jeremiah Winkler now checks in for Matt Thomas's group. As there's a quick discussion, James Smith in as well. Everybody trying to figure out, hey, we're just going to go man-to-man defense here. You've got 25, I've got 42.
Play smart here in the last 30.
Hey, and there's a runner that goes for Bradley Shintal, the 5'6" freshman.
And the head down and taking it to the hoop. I like it.
Great deal to see these freshmen all get in and get to play on the floor here at Columbia College in the closing seconds. Just 10 seconds is all that's left in this one. Can they get a 3? That one rims off. Final couple of ticks is all it is. Hoflicker will dribble it out for Community R6, and they win 66-40. Your final score in game number 22. Let's take a look at our play of the game brought to you by MPix. Life's a party. Print it.
Escamilla with the steal. The fire pass down low, works it all the way back around, and he drops in a triple. Boy, was he great today. 24 points.
They're getting ready on the floor to give out the Gary Filbert MVP award. And we are now joined by the man whose name is on this tournament, the living legend that is the former University of Missouri basketball coach, Mr. Norm Stewart. Joined by Missouri Basketball Coaches Association head, Denny Hunt. What a great joy for one of these young men to get this award from Norm.
Just fantastic. And what a game from Escamilla. 24 points. Just an incredible effort. How cool is that? I'll remember that forever.
Escamilla goes 5 of 8 from three-point land, 5 of 6 at the free throw line for those 24 points. Andy had 3 assists, and he is, of course, going to be our player of the game in this one tonight. Brought to you by Nestle Purina, your pet, our passion.
Such a quick, compact release, too, from around the three-point line, able to get...
Christmas trees try so hard. Lights and ornaments and little choo-choo trains, come on. The best trees, they kind of only need 2 things. Peanut butter and chocolate. Not sorry, Reese's.
With Norman Denny, that's a good deal too, right?
Just awesome.
I had a chance to do a 10-minute interview with Norm last year, and honestly, I think it was the proudest my mom and dad have ever been. Both huge Missouri Tiger fans. Well, a great matchup comes to a close. Jamestown comes up short to Community in this one, 66-44. Don't go anywhere. ESPN 3 and the Norm Stewart Classic continue. It'll be Columbia Hickman, the Cubies, taking on the girls from Moberly here in a little bit.